Hey, we're here. It's Behind the Bets with D Lils. Um, Heading into week 5. So far, we've had a rough couple of weeks for the betting viewers. Had some good picks. We've had some good upset picks on the show. I correctly predicted the Jets to cover over the Packers. Um, you know, I predicted that the Cowboys would cover the games that they have. I predicted the Lions would cover against the Packers, and so on. A couple of teams I've been able to have some real success with, and that's the Green Bay Packers. For whatever reason, I believe I have a pulse on the team, and especially Aaron Rodgers, and I'm able to predict based off of a good collection of information on what I believe the outcome of the game will be. So, again, usually we just post the articles on our Behind the Bet page. This week, I'm offering you guys video media and giving you a little bit of explanation behind my picks so that you can use that information and go make the correct pick of your own decision. So, taking a look ahead at some of these games this week. Thursday night, we have the Packers at home against the Vikings. Vikings are given 9.5 points. I'm taking the Vikings on the road. First of all, Green Bay has yet to show me a dominant team on the field. They've yet to show me that every aspect, offense, defense, and special teams, can be rolling on all cylinders. So, do I think the Packers will win this game at home? Yeah, I do think they'll win this game at home. I don't think their home record will be threatened, but I do think that Teddy Bridgewater will keep the Vikings in the game. See, what people don't understand is Teddy Bridgewater can do a little bit more than the average, sit there pocket passer. Teddy Bridgewater can do a little bit more than Andy Dalton. He can do a little bit more than Kirk Cousins. And I don't want to just appear as though I'm just selecting stiff white quarterbacks, because that's not the case. Obviously, I don't want to put him on the level of a Ben Roethlisberger or, other mobile quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, and the rest of them. But Teddy is certainly capable of keeping the Vikings in every one of these games. Yes, the Vikings D isn't that formidable, but they do have playmakers on the outside in Cordell Patterson and Greg Jennings. They have guys who can just move the chains, and I think that they have enough where they can do some things. So I'm going with the Vikings to cover that spread, 9.5 points. Okay, Sunday football, the 1 o'clock game this week. We have Panthers at home, -2.5 against the Bears. Look for Cam Newton to respond this game. He had a bad showing against the Ravens. Steve Smith pretty much took over. Expect them to bounce back against the Bears at home and win this game. Jay Cutler's been having a pretty good season with those two big wideouts in Chicago. But, again, when I see the 2.5 points, to me, that lets me know that the bookies know more than what we know. And that lets me go with the Panthers at home. Game number 2, we have Titans at home, -1.5 against the Browns. Again, these 1.5 point spreads really concern me because they really make me think, what is it that I'm not understanding about this game? It's clear to me that the Titans are a far inferior team than the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns have a ready-made defense. Brian Hoyer's been playing above average, and they're just going to continue to get better. Now Ben Tate's getting put back into the rotation. On the other side, the Titans, our quarterback is still kind of up in the air. Jake has been hurt. Between Bishop Shankly and Sean Green, they haven't been very effective on the ground, and the defense have given up a lot of big plays. I think the Browns are going to cover this. I think they're going to beat the Titans on the road. I'm taking the Browns plus 1.5. Okay, next we have Eagles -7.5, Rams +7.5. 7.5 spreads, those stand out to me. This game is at home. There's no doubt in my mind, no Tavon Austin. The Rams have very little weapons. The Eagles are going to try to dismantle the Rams. They're going to try to wipe them off the NFL website. Eagles, minus 7.5. Next game, Giants at home against the Falcons. The Falcons are a 4.5-point underdog. I have to go with the Falcons there. Matt Ryan, I think he's started off the season pretty well. Yeah, they had a little bit of a disappointing game last week against Minnesota, but I think they bounced back. I think this Giants team is not that tough. They certainly aren't dominant at home. So, although I don't think it will be a high-scoring game, and I'm not even saying that the Giants can't beat them, but the Falcons will cover 4 points. I'm taking the Falcons in the points. Saints and Bucks, division game in New Orleans. Saints really need to bounce back. They're on the verge of their season going down the tubes. I stay away from double-digit spreads. I'm sorry, I don't deal with them. I'm going with the Bucks plus 10.5. And you have the Cowboys minus 6.5 at home against the Texans. I think people have been riding the Cowboy train for the past couple of weeks. It's time to get off right here. Houston's for real. J.J. Watt's playing out of his mind. Expect the Texans to cover in their home state, about 2.5 hours away from their own stadium. Texans are going to cover 6.5 points against the Cowboys. You have Lions, Bills. Bills just swapped out E.J. Manuel for Kyle Orton. I have no faith in Orton, although I do have faith in their defense. This is at home, and this is only 7.5 points. The Lions are a different monster at home, and that's all I really want to say. I don't know the current status of both Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller, but if they're healthy, I fully expect the Bills to compete. Kyle Orton's first game inside. They have weapons. I just have a feeling that, this is the same Kyle Orton that led his Denver Broncos to a quick 6-0 start before Tebow came in. I just don't know what type of shape he's in. This is a game I would probably recommend you guys stay away from. But if you're going to put me on the spot and hold a fire to me, I'm going to go with the Bills here to cover on the road. I look at this as a potential road upset. At least they'll cover minimum. Bills plus 7.5. Colts, Ravens. Tough game. Old clash AFC division matchup. Older AFC North divisional matchup. Colts at home. I gotta go with the Colts to cover. I think the Ravens been on a little bit of a high streak. I don't think the Colts are a serious contender yet, but I do think that the Ravens have always had the Colts number for whatever reason. I think Andrew Luck gets over that hump this year. It is 3.5 points, and that concerns me. But because they're at home, I think the Colts cover this 3.5 points. Notice we haven't talking about many home teams covering this week. Moving on, we have the Steelers on the road against the Jaguars, the Jags are a 6.5 point dog. The way the Steelers have been playing, I expect the Jags to cover at home. They're a home dog. I like home dogs, and I just expect them to cover. 6.5 points, that's a lot. They've always been on the verge of improving. This is Blake Bortles' third start. He should be well settled in. Rookie quarterbacks don't tend to do well against Dick LeBeau's defense, but the Steelers have been really shaky as of late. So I expect the Jags to cover the 6.5 points at home. Broncos at home against the Cards. The Cardinals are undefeated. It's a 7.5-point game. I don't think they're a Seattle team yet, although the record would indicate differently. Pardon me. So I think that, to be fair, I'd have to go with I think we have to go with the Broncos in this situation. Peyton is demanding perfection. The Cardinals quarterback situation, I can't imagine them putting up the amount of points that they're going to need in order to stay with Peyton Manning. Yes, I know Patrick Peterson is back there. Yes, I know Antonio Cromartie is back there. Yes, I know Honey Badger is back there. Yes, I know Jefferson is back there, but they're not the Legion of Boom. It's a step down from the Legion of Boom, the second best secondary, and I think that Peyton is going to have some success. I have the Broncos covering against the Cards. Okay. Then we have 49ers at home against the Chiefs, minus 6.5 points. I think that the 49ers fully cover that 6.5 at home against the Chiefs. This is Alex Smith's first game back in San Francisco since he was shipped off. Expect him to play with some passion, some emotion, but I fully expect that Colin Kaepernick is going to show out in this game. The 49ers have constantly been in the press all week. They're going to shake this. This is a huge game for them, and I think that they're going to win handily over the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't have enough offensively, and that running the ball to Jamal Charles is going to play right into their hands. I have the 49ers covering at home, 6.5 points. Okay, San Diego is a home favorite, minus 7.5 over the New York Jets. The Jets are in dismay. I think that 7.5 is a little fishy because it should be more, which makes me think that it's a possibility that Vic may start. So if this is a possibility that Vic may start, I have to expect that the Jets may be able to cover this. I don't like any team flying across the country, but in this instance, I'm taking the Jets as the underdog, 7.5 points to cover against the Chargers. Okay. Bengals Patriots. The Bengals visit Foxborough and will face off against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. The Patriots are currently a home underdog, 1.5 points. Everybody and their grandma's on the Patriots. I think the Bengals are going to blow them out on the road. I'm taking the Bengals minus 1.5. Do not fall into the Patriots trap. The Patriots have not covered on any spread all year. I'll get to that at the end of this cast. The last game, Monday Night Football, Seahawks minus 7.5 against the Redskins. Monday night in D.C., 7.5 points. That concerns me a little bit just because that should be more. And that makes me want to go with the home dog. But the way Kirk Cousins played last time, I can't imagine him doing that against the Legion of Boom. And I'm going with Seattle to cover 7.5 points. Now, if I leave you with anything today, take this into consideration. A couple things I want to highlight. One, you have to pay attention. There's 3 different types of spreads you need to pay attention to. The 2.5, the 7.5, and the double-digit spread. Okay? The 2.5 point spread simply indicates that the bookies don't know who's going to win. So they're going to make this spread a field goal game, and they're going to make the people persuade the line. What that means to me is that whoever is the favorite is likely to be upset in a 2.5 spread game, especially if they're on the road. Now, in the case of Carolina at home, I think Carolina should be able to handle that. But I don't see any other 2.5 games on the marker this week. Double-digit games, if you're saying a team's going to get beat by 10.5, 11 to 14.5 points, I don't go for that. This is the NFL. On any given week, teams can play up to their competition, down to their competition, or over their level of competition. And, again, any given Sunday, that's why this week I couldn't go with the Saints covering over the Bucs, even in New Orleans. I know that's a tough place to play, but they're just not the same Saints team. They have some issues defensively. The Bucs run the football, run play action. It's that simple. They don't really do too much. That's why I think the Bucs will cover. And most of the time, double-digit dogs will cover. Also, just take into consideration there's a number of teams that have quarterbacks that just haven't been able to cover. Again, Brady has been one of those. Peyton Manning has tended to not cover this year so far. But the Chargers are a team that has been covering. So if you were going to go with any opposite pick that I selected, I would go, your safest bet is the San Diego Chargers at home over the Jets. They're 7.5 points, but the only thing you can run into trouble is if Mike Vick starts. That's my only hesitation, my only cause a pause. I'm sorry. My lock pick of the week, drum roll. So, my lock pick of the week is going to be the Eagles over the Rams. I'm 100% certain that the Philadelphia Eagles will maintain their dominance against the St. Louis Rams and their measly offense this week in Philly. That's my lock pick of the week. And my upset pick of the week would be the Jags to cover against the Steelers. It's Behind the Bets, sports podcast with your host, D. Lils. You guys let me know. Hopefully, if you win, you can send some donations my way. hiphopandhomeruns.com.